Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Today, we'll be taking a look at a wide array of digital mixers that all come in at prices of less than $5,000. Then, as a bonus, we'll also take a look at two mixers that up the ante to almost $9,000. For this roundup, we're focusing on console-style mixers, meaning the user interface includes faders for hands-on mixing. Of course, all these mixers also offer accompanying apps for controlling mix functions and often also personal mixing apps for performers on stage. And those allow you to take remote control over the mixer functions and controls using your phone or tablet. And keep in mind, most of these mixers can function equally well in a recording studio, and in many cases can serve as a very powerful DAW controller and audio interface when connected to your computer. And that allows you to easily record both live and in the studio. So with all that said, let's get started checking out the mixers. First up, we have the Allen & Heath SQ5, which comes in priced at just under $4,000 as we're recording this video. It's the most compact of the console-style SQ range of mixers from Allen & Heath. And if you want something even more compact, there's also the SQ rack you can check out. Now the SQ5 offers us 48 channels, 16 mic line inputs, plus a dedicated talkback mic input. It's got 12 balanced outputs, dual stereo quarter-inch inputs, an AES EBU stereo digital output. We've got 17 faders so you can get hands-on, 36 buses for managing all your routing, 8 assignable soft keys. Other features include a 7-inch touchscreen that makes navigating super easy. We've got 3 stereo matrices, and the SQ5 can function as a 32 by 32 USB audio interface. All of this is driven by a 96 kHz FPGA audio engine. There are 8 stereo effects engines with dedicated effects returns on board, and we've got a really low latency figure of less than 0.7 milliseconds. For expansion, there's an S-Link port. We've got SQ drive for direct recording to a USB drive, 64-channel network support, MIDI DAW control, and there's even an option slot so you can insert a Dante or a Wave sound grid card. There's auto mic mixing, and actually, this mixer can be rack mountable if you desire. It's compact and lightweight, but if you want to throw it in a rack, you can. And you can expand with the DT168, AR2414, or the AB168 stage boxes for more inputs and outputs. Next up, we have the PreSonus StudioLive Series 3 32SC digital mixer. Now this comes in at the lowest price in our roundup today, around $1,600 at the filming of this video. Now, this is a very portable and compact version of PreSonus's very popular console-style StudioLive family. It brings together all those great StudioLive features into a super compact and lightweight format. We've got 32 channels, and then we have 16 of those acclaimed X-Max mic line inputs, plus there's a dedicated talkback mic input. The outputs are very versatile, with both stereo left and right XLR outs, as well as a mono sum output. And we have 10 additional mix outputs. Plus, there are stereo quarter-inch monitor outputs, dual stereo quarter-inch inputs, stereo RCA I/O, stereo AES EBU digital output, 17 faders, and we've got 26 buses for routing capabilities. All this is driven by a dual-core Flex DSP engine, which gives us up to 286 processors. There are 4 slots of reverbs and 4 dedicated effects buses within that. A very user-friendly feature of the StudioLive consoles is PreSonus's fat channel approach. Now this gives you basically a full channel strip for each one of the connections here inside the StudioLive console. So you've got a compressor, you've got an EQ, you can have emulated vintage style processors and more. Plus there's built-in SD card recording and playback, and you can do up to 64 channels of record and playback via USB. This console is actually rack mountable if you prefer to use it that way. As I mentioned, very compact and lightweight. And another big feature is AVB network support. This allows you to connect up NSB stage boxes, earMix 16M personal monitor mixers, and more. And we've got DAW control, and if you're a PreSonus Studio One user, there's very tight integration with that DAW. Now let's take a look at the Yamaha DM3-D, certainly the smallest mixer in our roundup today, but that doesn't mean it's any less powerful than the others. It comes in at around $2,100 as of the filming of this video, and it's a Dante-equipped mixer, so that means it's easily expandable. But really the beauty here is that it is super compact, yet it's still a console-style mixer. We've got 22 channels, 16 mic preamps, and 8 XLR Omni outputs. There also are primary and secondary network ports, and we've got a beautiful 9-inch touchscreen here. There are 6 user-defined buttons down here on the lower right, 9 faders, and this can serve as an 18 by 18 USB audio interface, and you can also do 2-in and 2-out USB recording and playback with the unit. It supports up to 96 kHz sample rate, and it offers 2 matrices for easy mixing. We've got onboard DSP effects, built-in DAW control, and you can expand up to 16 inputs and 16 outputs using Dante. Super compact and lightweight, and you can optionally connect this to Yamaha's TIO stage boxes. Next up, we have the Behringer Wing Compact. Now, the original Wing is super powerful. It offers so many capabilities, and believe it or not, the Wing Compact has all that power packed into this small footprint. It comes in at right around $2,500 as of the filming of this video. We've got 48 mono, stereo, or mid-side channels, and that's one of the real distinguishing features here. Actually, the way Behringer talks about it is they talk about sources. You can have up to 374 possible inputs and outputs using those sources with the Wing Compact. We have 24 Midas Pro preamps, 8 balanced outputs. We've even got 5-pin MIDI in and out, and there's a stereo AES EBU digital input and output as well, along with a GPIO port. Now, you can have 28 mono, stereo, or mid-side buses. We've got 8 matrices, 13 faders here on the front panel, 16 stereo digital processors, and a cool feature is this 10.1-inch touchscreen, which you can actually angle up so you can see exactly what you're doing on the gig. We've got 8 assignable soft buttons, 64-channel recording to dual SD cards, and this can serve as a 48 by 48 USB audio interface as well. Now, on the back panel, we've got a Stage Connect port for personal monitor mixing or for stage boxes. And there are also 3 AES-50 SuperMac ports as well. We've got dual network ports, and it's compatible with all of Midas's digital snakes and stage boxes. There's an optional Dante expansion card for connecting to wider networks, and it's rack mountable in 3 positions. The final mixer in our 5 mixers under $5,000 comes to us from Midas, a company that has a long legacy of outstanding consoles and processors in the live sound and pro audio world. What we're looking at here is the M32R Live. Now, this is a smaller footprint version of the full-size Midas M32 digital console that still includes all that same power, sound quality, and capability. We've got 40 channels, 16 Midas preamp, as well as a dedicated talkback input, 8 XLR line outputs, and there are 6 aux inputs and 6 aux outputs as well. And then we've got stereo monitor outputs, which makes this ideal in a studio setup. There are 17 faders here on the front panel, and these are actually heavy-duty faders that have been rated for up to 1 million cycles. We've got 25 mix buses for routing your signals, and there's a virtual effects rack inside here with over 50 built-in effects. We've got a 5-inch color display, and there's an optional Clark Technic DN32Live expansion module as well. The back panel features dual AES-50 ports for expansion. There's an Ultranet port for connecting personal mixers, 5-pin MIDI input and output, network port, and we've got 32 channels of recording capability and playback capability to dual SD cards. The M32R Live can serve as a 32 by 32 USB audio interface, and it's compatible with a wide array of options, including the Midas DL stage boxes, a Dante expansion card, and more. Now that we've taken a look at 5 mixers that all come in at well under $5,000, let's jump up our price point a bit and take a look at 2 mixers that cost a bit more, but also bring more to the table as well. First up, we have the Allen & Heath Avantis Solo, which comes in at just under $9,000 as we're filming this. Now, this is based on Allen & Heath's flagship D-Live technology. It's basically exactly the same as the full-size Avantis mixer, just in a physically smaller case, but it still has all that same power and capability despite its smaller footprint. It has 64 channels, 42 buses, and we've got 6 onboard XLR inputs and 6 XLR outputs, plus stereo AES EBU digital input and output. That's managed by 12 faders here on the front panel and a beautiful 15.6-inch touchscreen. We've got 18 assignable soft keys, up to 96 kHz sample rate support, and up to 128 inputs and outputs. On board, we have 12 rack extra effects slots with dedicated returns. And this whole UI is drag and drop, fully customizable. It's called Continuity UI by Allen & Heath. It's a very friendly user interface. We've got an S-Link expansion port and dual network ports, as well as dual expansion card slots for Dante and Wave sound grid on the back panel. And the Avantis Solo is compatible with a wide range of I/O expanders and stage boxes, so you can configure it for exactly what you need for your application. Finally, let's take a look at the Wave Z-Motion LV1 Classic digital mixer. Now, this is one of the newest mixers in our roundup, and it comes in right around the $8,000 point as we're filming this video. With the LV1, Waves has brought the popular live sound technologies that they developed through many years of working in that arena to a traditional console workflow and form factor. We've got 64 channels, 44 buses, 8 matrices, and there are 16 of those great Waves Ionic preamps with selectable harmonic enhancement included. You get 12 XLR line outputs, we've got stereo AES EBU digital input and dual AES EBU digital outputs. We've also got dual sound grid ports for expansion. There's a double precision 32-bit floating point mix engine, and we have a built-in Waves sound grid server that runs all those great Waves plugins. In fact, those plugins are included with the mixer and you don't need a separate license for those. We've got latency as low as 0.8 milliseconds up to 96 kilohertz sample rate, and we've got a gorgeous, huge 21-inch multi-touch display. There are 17 physical faders, 8 USB ports, 3 network ports, and we've even got dual redundant power supplies, so if anything fails during a show, you're still on, you're still happening, and sound is still passing. And of course, the LV1 is compatible with Waves' array of optional stage grid stage boxes as well as sound grid servers. I hope you found this look at 5 class-leading digital mixers plus 2 bonus mixers very useful. They each offer so much power, so many features, and so many capabilities that we could really only scratch the surface here today. For complete information, head over to sweetwater.com, or of course, as I told you earlier, your best resource is your knowledgeable Sweetwater sales engineer. They'll be happy to discuss your needs and applications with you, and they'll help you navigate to exactly the right digital mixer for your needs. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.